Welcome back to Good Day Chicago. Can art be used to change the stain of a neighborhood's reputation of violence and poverty? John Bakker certainly thinks so. He is the artist behind the Roseland Portrait Project. With each stroke of his brush, he's painting a different image of what it means to be from Roseland.
500 years ago, the only people who got their portraits painted were kings. And that's because they thought that they were significant enough to demand that kind of attention.
John Bakker is a longtime Chicago artist. It took him up to 5 hours to paint each face featured on the Roseland Portrait Project. His message is, we are all equal and we all matter, no matter how much social status you have or how much money you make.
You could be homeless, or you could be Anthony Beale, who's in the project. He's the alderman from this neighborhood. And guess what? It takes exactly the same amount of time to paint Tony Beale as it does to paint Chris Patton. And for me, that's an assertion that everybody matters.
The mural is housed at the Roseland Christian Ministries on 109th and Michigan Avenue. It was created to honor 16-year-old Andre Taylor, who was tragically gunned down in 2016. Andre was an active member of the Roseland Christian Ministries, where Corey Hardeman was his mentor.
Andre was a very bright young man that was very aspirational and had big dreams and big goals. And one of the things I would be more present about and be honest about, Andre would have been just like me on this board, a young man that grew up in Roseland, went off to college and doing well with his life. And so to think about the tragedy that happened, but transpired to triumph, to show other young people that there's still hope in a community that sometimes is hopeless.
Hardeman and Taylor are two of the 397 faces that represent the Roseland community in the mural. They are joined by business owners, teachers, aldermen, police officers, and even people who are homeless. Each portrait also has a bio, which helps paint the picture of what it means to call Roseland home.
Every one of these people loves their kids. They get up and go to work every morning. They get their kids to school. I mean, it's just an ordinary neighborhood like any other neighborhood. But that's not the story that the news media has told about Roseland. What the news media has done is, focus on the violence, and of course that happens. There's a background of violence, but these people are ordinary people, and there's this vibrant life in the community that, and that's what I hope. That's what I hope they see.
And how do you think this mural kind of inspires young people to maybe chase some of their own dreams and see their neighborhood portrayed in a positive light?
I believe when you look at this mural, you see a lot of different facets of hope, a lot of different facets of what it means to continue to walk the path of what do you want out of life. This is how I take my pain, turn that into purpose, and be able to catapult other young people to see that their pain also can create the purpose of what you do here on earth.
And the odds were stacked against Hardeman. His mother worked at McDonald's and his father was in prison for dealing dope. Corey was able to overcome all of that. And now after graduating from Morehouse College in Atlanta, Corey is back here in Chicago and now calls himself a hope dealer. He's helped several youths from the Roseland community to become Bill and Melinda Gates scholars. A couple have even followed in his own footsteps to also graduate from Morehouse. Corey wants everyone to know that in Roseland, they're dealing hope.